This video shows you how to assemble a 4'6" Belgravia Ottoman bed. An Ottoman bed includes an inbuilt integrated storage system, essentially lifting up the base through the use of hydraulics, to reveal, ample space underneath it. This is the storage board subassembly. Other subassemblies or components that make up, the Ottoman bed are the headboard. It's got a gross weight of 30 kilograms and a net weight of 27 kilograms. Probably with the exclusion of the packaging material. The next subassembly is the side rail with a net weight of 26 kilograms. And then subsequently, we've got the footboard with a net weight of 17.5 kilograms. At the very core or fundamental level, we are going to assemble the storage board, the headboard, the side rails, and the footboard all together, and they accumulate a net weight of 87.5 kilograms. So it's a good idea to get an extra pair of hands if you need one. So the first step of the process would be to undo the packaging for the headboard and then subsequently replicate the process for the storage boards, the side rails and the footboard, okay? And this is what the headboard looks like when you flip it over, okay? The headboard and the footboard seat on 4 legs. So, at some point you would need to install, the legs, which is what I've got here. The next step of the process would be to undo the packaging from the side rails, okay? Aside, from them side rails, I will be highlighting other accessories that will be needed, to assemble the Ottoman bed frame. The wrappings on all them components are quite lethal and, can lead to suffocation. So if you've got kids, running around in the property, be quite mindful, okay? So I will take off the wrapping now and identify other accessories or components, that's, needed for the assembly. So here you've got the support wood and metal bars, bottom crossbars long and short, lift off mechanism and screw accessories. In this white wrapping you've got your screws, nuts, bolts and Allen keys. These are your support metal bars and wood bars, your lift up mechanism and your bottom crossbar long and short. Then here you've got your side rails. This is what the side rail looks like when it's flipped over. The next step of the process would be to familiarize ourselves with the footboard. So I will be taking off the packaging really quickly, and on visual inspection you can see that the primary difference between the headboard and the footboard is in the height, okay? The width of both the headboard and the footboard stays just about the same, okay? So I'm just going to flip it around so you can see the beauty of the footboard. Isn't this piece such a beauty? The next step of the process would be to undo the board frame base from the packaging, okay? Each of the board frame base assembled together, forms the base where our mattress seats, okay? Which will be assembled at a later stage. And so here I will take off the packaging, from the frame bases so you can see what they look like. The next step would be to undo the packaging from them storage boards. They're about 4 in number. And, the storage board essentially provides the base where we keep our personal stuff like pillowcases, your duvets, and whatnot, okay? Basically where you keep all of your personal items. Them storage boards are divided into 4 quadrants and, it sits underneath the board frame base. And so now that we have familiarized ourselves with majority of the components that make up the Ottoman bed, I will be identifying other subcomponents or subassemblies in the parts list or bill of materials that would enable us fasten the Ottoman bed frame together. And so here you can see some of the bolts that will be used in fastening and the bed together. And so here you've got your strap, okay, which enables you to lift up the bed. You've got your mattress stopper and the center support leg. The mattress stopper prevents the mattress from tipping over when you lift the strap around where you've got the board frame base. And now that you've got a good grasp of the components or sub-assemblies that make up the Ottoman bed frame, let's look at, the standard parts, the fasteners, and the washers that will be required, to fasten this bit together. Undoing the white wrapper from the accessory kit bag reveals a host of M8 bolts with varying lengths from 25mm, 30mm, 50mm to about 60mm. And here we've got the Allen key, which is used for torque tightening or loosening them bolts. We've got the flat washer, the spring washer, them ones are still flat washers as well. And we've got the M14 spanner, which can be used in tightening, the flange nut that we've got on the hydraulic lift-up mechanism. Be careful not to lose any of them fittings or parts in the kit, okay? That is absolutely crucial to assembling, the Ottoman bed. It's best to separate all them fittings with codes, in respective sections, so that you do not mix them up when assembling, the bed frame. You can mark them up with letters like A, B, C, D, so that you know exactly what bolts you're getting, what washers, what spring washers you're getting. So rather than using the star head bit in the magnetic bit holder, I will be using the Allen head H4 bit, to torque tighten, them Allen head and bolt bits, or to undo them Allen head and bolts. And as you can see, the Allen bit fits perfectly into them M8 bolts, okay? And if you've got an undersized Allen head bolt, you can swap, the Allen bits, just make sure that, it keys into the Allen, slot at the head of the bolt, and you're good to go. And so we're going to insert the magnetic bit holder and the Allen key into the chock of the drill, and make sure it's well centered, tighten the chock. Vary the speed of the drill to 1, which is used for screwing down or torque tightening them bolts. Press that knob or button down because we're going to be torque tightening, okay? The first step of the process would be to insert an M8 bolt into a washer and then subsequently insert it into the leg, okay? Once done, insert the assembled leg with its component into both the headboard and the footboard and sleeve it in with an Allen key, okay? Tighten it down with the longer reach side of the Allen key, and then subsequently use the drill with the Allen bit to give it a tight fit, okay? The next step would be to repeat and reproduce the process for the other 3 legs. Ensure that each pair of legs on the headboard and the footboard are snug fit, they're tight, they're not slanty when you're torque tightening down, okay, because you're going to have all of the weight of the bed resting on all 4 legs, so it's really important that you've got a tight fit and a non-slant fit, to them legs, okay? And you can see it's been sorted for the headboard and the footboard, okay? The next step of the process would be to install 2 support wood bars on the headboard and woodboard using an M8 50mm bolt and a 17mm diameter flat washer. So here I will be sleeving both support wood bars into position and then subsequently torque tighten it down with the bolt and the washer. So I will be torque tightening them 3 off bolts into them 3 sleeve hole positions. And once done, give it half a turn or a full revolution turn, with the Allen key, just to make sure that, them bolts are snug fit or tight fit. Do not overly torque tighten, as this may crack open the support wood bar, so take care, okay? The next step of the process would be to install the lift up mechanism with an M8 bolt 30mm washer, a spring washer and flat washers as well. 8mm in length and a 17mm diameter for them flat washers, okay? we have got 4 slave holes. So that's the first hole. Okay. This is the second. That's the third slave hole, and that's the fourth. So we're going to insert the Emmett bolt through the spring washer and the flat washer, then subsequently torque tighten all them Emmett bolts in 4 positions down. Okay. Then subsequently utilize the Allen key to give it a tight, snug fit, as the lift up mechanism takes the weight of the mattress as well as, other body weight. Okay. So it's important to have a secure connection. Okay. Then undo the fastener and then attach the hydraulic onto the lift up lever. And so here you can see that I'm installing the hydraulic, in its original position in situ. And then subsequently retrieve the fastener to fasten on the hydraulic into its position. Okay. Torque tighten the fastened lift up mechanism using the M14 spanner. Please note that the longest slope side or the hypotenuse of the lift up mechanism on the headboard faces the 9 o'clock position, whereas on the footboard it faces the 3 o'clock position. The next step would be to install 12 M8 30mm bolts with their respective spring washers and flat washers. The flat washers being 17mm in diameter and 8mm in length. So we're sliving them into positions. We're not torque tightening fully, okay? Just enough so that the bolts are fitted into the headboard and the footboard, but not torque tightened down fully. Just leave about 10mm protruding from the slave position, so that the side rail brackets can be fitted behind the flat washers. And so, after installing all 12 bolts, the headboard and footboard will be installed onto the side rail in an upright position. Just make sure that the side rail brackets are located behind the flat washers, of the bolts, as earlier highlighted. Okay. And so you can see here that I've done my due diligence to ensure that the brackets, all brackets, sit behind the flat washers, as you can see. So make sure you visually inspect all 4 corners to make sure that they've keyed into the respective correct positions. The next step of the process would be to install the long bottom crossbar, whilst ensuring that it fits in properly. If it doesn't, gradually torque tighten the side rail brackets that sandwiched between, the head and footboard and their respective slave bolt washers. And you can see what I mean here. If it doesn't key, slot in properly into this bracket, then gradually torque tighten, the head and footboard and bolts gradually, so that the head and footboard moves closer to the long bottom crossbar, okay, which will enable it to key into position. Just make sure that it's somewhat slaved into position prior to torque tightening at both ends. The next step of the process would be to install the short bottom crossbar and the center support leg transversely across the long bottom crossbar. So basically getting the short and the long bottom crossbars to form a cross when we install them. After installing both crossbars, we assemble the center support leg with an M8 bolt, which is 30mm in length, with a flat washer about 17mm in diameter and 8mm in length. Okay, so we fasten the center support leg onto both crossbars, which form a cross, so that it's quite sturdy. Then we torque tighten the M8 bolt and washer through the long bottom crossbar onto the center support leg. Okay, just make sure it's quite sturdy and snug fit. The next step would be to install both board frames with 30mm M8 bolts, flat and spring washers. Then subsequently insert the M8 bolt into the spring and flat washer. Then using the support metal bar assemble both board frames together. These are the support metal bars and these are the hold positions. First, second, third and fourth hold positions. And just underneath we have got another set of 4 hold positions. And so the next step of the process would be to install the support metal bars into each pair set of 4 corresponding hold positions. And so we sleeve them in first and then subsequently torque tighten with the drill and Allen key. Okay, so here I am torque tightening 8 bolts through the metal support bars onto both board frames. And the board frame essentially is where your mattress sits. Okay, and as you can see, all 8 bolts have been adequately installed onto both board frames. The next step would be to install the strap onto both board frames after flipping it over to the side where the mattress sits, which is what we've got here. And this strap sits just about here. So I will be torque tightening, the strap with M8 bolts, that's 25mm in length, and a flat washer that's got a 22mm diameter and an 8mm length. So here I will be installing the strap exuding from the board frames or facing the 9 o'clock position. The next step of the process would be to install the mattress stopper with an M8 bolt which is 25mm in length and a flat washer that has got a diameter of 17mm and an 8mm length on the side opposite the strap. So I will torque tighten the bolts down and repeat and reproduce the process for the other mattress stopper. The next step would be to carefully lay down the frame and making sure there is an even gap on each side. So we are carefully going to lay down the frame on the gas lift up mechanism hydraulic systems that you see here with an extra pair of hands. Hold the board frames into position and then torque tighten 6 bolts through the hydraulics and the board frame slave holes that you see here. Take cognizance that you should start torque tightening from the first bolt. Okay, then torque tighten the remainder of them bolts up to the 6th position progressively and respectively. Okay, torque tightening from the first hole allows the board frame to be set in position. If you do not torque tighten from the first hole, you would have to make unnecessary board frame adjustments. After the installation of the board frames onto the hydraulics, the last step of the process would be to install all 4 storage boards in the crossbar cross-section intersection quadrants. So these are the 4 storage bolts here. So I'll be grabbing each one of them and placing them on the intersecting crossbars. And that's pretty much the bed underneath setup completed. The next step would be to test that the installation works correctly when we open up the bed frame using the strap and we close it back. So here I have opened the bed frame, worked fine, and I've closed back both bed frames and it works fine. And the last step would be to visually inspect the bed frame to make sure that it's been installed or assembled as per the manufacturer's instructions. And thus far it looks compliant. All the sub-assemblies and components are where they should be. The silver grey color looks absolutely brilliant, looks fantastic and aesthetically pleasing. So I'll do my best to get you a panoramic view of the installation. Okay, that's the footboard That's the side rail there. You can see the button style footboard. It's at right angles. It's not slanty. You can see the side rails too as well, not slanty. The strap is in position, okay, and you can also see the legs of the bed frame adequately installed in both positions, okay. The button style of the footboard looks absolutely fantastic, and the side rail on the other side looks perfect, okay. Then the headboard looks pristine, looks well installed, and from here onwards you can proceed to store your personal items underneath the bed frame, on the storage boards. And that's about it really. If you found the information useful, don't forget to subscribe, like and share, help the channel grow, and hopefully catch up with you later as soon as I've got more upcoming videos. Goodbye.